All right, good morning. I got my message typed out there for chat. Good morning, Sherry. How was your weekend? I think one of the first things I want to do this morning is I just want to see what the lag is starting out with. One, two, three, four, five. Not bad, five. Boring and long. Mine seems like it was not long enough. But my weekends are always like that because I live stream Friday night. So it'll be like before my Friday ends, it's really like 9, 10 o'clock on Saturday morning. So my weekends always seem like they just fly by. And I did not color any over the weekend. I'm going to zoom in just a little bit here. Hard to zoom in on a book like this because the page is so wide. I can't zoom in much without and still have the entire page in the screen. That's what I'm saying. Oh, I forgot my music. I got the sound machines going, but I did not get my music. I kept wondering why am I like sound so loud to myself. Oh, and I did something this morning that I don't do very often, occasionally, but not very often. And there are so many things to do to get ready to live stream that sometimes I forget to do stuff. Like I was trying to get my music to work, and I didn't have my Bluetooth turned on. So now I got to retry it because it won't work. There we go. Yes, Sherry, I made myself some coffee, and I'll end up wasting it because for one, I'll forget that I have it. That's what I normally do. So cup after cup gets cold. I got to move my camera just a little bit. It annoys me if it's not level. There, that's better. Okay, now let me go back to the music. See if I can get it going. I always want to sell me music, and I get Amazon Music with Prime, so I don't know why they keep wanting to sell me a subscription to Amazon Music. You just started yourself a pot of coffee or you just started sipping on a cup? Sorry, I had to kind of clean my glasses off. I can't see. Okay, so you're making yours. I am going to hopefully not forget that I have a cup sitting right there for two reasons. I would like to drink it, and I don't want to spill it. If I forget that it's sitting over there, actually, I better move it. I think I'll move it. I won't leave it sit where I first put it because I'm not accustomed to having a cup of coffee sit there, and I might bang into that thing. It's on wheels. There. I'll put my coffee over there where I can't accidentally, well, carelessly. I don't like using the word accidentally. Carelessly spill it. Okay, so today I think I'm going to work on, I'm going to color grass, maybe cows. This part up here I know is boring. I have the feeling I'm going to end up changing my camera position even again. I think that'll work like that. Okay, let me see here. The first thing I've got to do, I do have to, I think it's going to be easier. Well, maybe I'll leave that part. Maybe I can do it without it. So let me see what I want to use for the grass. Yeah, probably the same typical greens I normally, well, here's some. Now I am looking for, uh, I have not found what I'm looking for. All right, we'll see if we can't do something with the grass here. What is that? I don't need a metallic pencil for grass. Uh, Sorry, I'm still looking for a color. I'm undecided. I haven't thought about it. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, the doctor's office is calling me. I gotta take this call. I'll be right back, guys. Hello? Yes, it is. Okay, sorry guys. I'm back. Oh, okay, Sherry. I don't know if you heard me announce that I had to take a phone call, but yeah. Okay, so that's pretty cool. Hi, Brittany. Good morning. Brittany, how are you? So I just had a call from my doctor, and everything seems to be okay. She said apparently my the blood work for my prostate is a little bit elevated, but I don't know what that means. But she said she'll do more blood work in 2 months. And I told the nurse, I was like, okay, so I already have an appointment scheduled for 30 days from now, for the end of this month at this point. So do I still have that appointment, or did you just cancel that appointment and tell me to come in 2 months? She's like, no, you keep the appointment that you already have. I said, oh, so none of this is actually important to me as far as appointments are concerned, because you can tell me about the rest of it when you see me at the end of the month. And she kind of laughed. She said, yeah, I guess I can. So I did ask the nurse to ask the doctor because she gave me that ointment for my hands, and I have to do that ointment 4 times a day, and I do not like that. And my lag seems to have increased already. Anyway, I did ask her if she would call in the pill form for me so I don't have to keep doing the ointment. She said she would ask her about that. So hopefully the pharmacist will call me and tell me that that script is ready and I can go pick it up. Because it would really be nice to not have to be putting that stuff on my hands 4 times a day. It does feel like it has helped some, though. I will say that. As long as I'm just sitting around not doing anything, my hands don't just ache. So we'll see. Okay, where were we? I need to count my lag again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So in the amount of from the time I started this live stream, I took that phone call and I came back, my lag has doubled. Yeah, it's kind of slimy and then it gets sticky and it takes it a while to completely absorb and dry and evaporate and everything. I don't like it. All right, let's see what we can do here. We'll see if we can get some grass. Oh boy, I almost caught myself. I better move my coffee because every time I sharpen my pencil, my table shakes. I've got this cup of coffee sitting on my table, it's going to spill. See? Almost a careless mistake. There, I set it over there behind me on a different table, and now I will forget all about it. Okay, let me see here. I actually put my lazy Susan back on this. I put it on this easel because I was thinking maybe because I'm able to rotate the book now without knocking everything off my table, that maybe I could put my lazy Susan, my turntable right here, and I could use it, but it still doesn't work the way I would like for it to. Now let me ask you guys this. If you, like if you're gonna leave something that's white, do you actually take the white pencil and go over it with the white pencil, or do you just leave the paper exposed? I'm probably gonna have to move this up like this so I can actually reach it. I'm undecided on how I want to approach this. I'm still really figuring out how I want to organize my table since I move things around. Because I need things to be somewhat in a comfortable position where I can use things comfortably. Oh, okay, Sherry, that makes sense. I was thinking about like on this picture, for example, for myself, there's part of it that's supposed to be white, but I am actually getting, as I color on different places, some of the grays are kind of like transferring. So I may have to take the white pencil and go over everything just to make sure it has a white appearance and not gray. I find it very hard because I have to wear these braces and I'm constantly just rubbing against what I've already colored and it transfers that color. But I'm trying to figure out where I can put my swatching pad where I can use it conveniently. Maybe I can put it here. All right, let's see if we can do something with this grass now. I agree, Sherry. I'm going to use the white and go back over, at least in some spots. We'll see what I have to do. That'll be the very last thing I do to finish off the picture, just to make sure. I think it's a good thing I have until Valentine's Day. Okay, Brittany, now I do have a blender. I actually have several blending pencils. I do not have one of the brand that you mentioned, but I do in fact have blending pencils. And I have used a blending pencil on everything I've colored on this page so far. I've used this blending pencil right here. But the color, that's just because I'm rubbing on the colors. I know what causes it to move. There isn't anything I can do about it because I can't lift my hand up above the paper. I got this thing on my arm. And right now I'm just trying to get some base color on here. I'm not sure how things are going to turn out in the end for this grass. I'm just wanting to get some base color. Oh my gosh, I think somebody's trying to call me again. Who is trying to call me? Oh, sorry guys, I gotta take this phone call. Hello? Yes. Okay, update on my call from the doctor's office. Uh, Now, like I said, I had asked her, I asked the nurse that called me, I had asked her if she would ask the doctor about calling in a different medication for me so I didn't have to use this ointment anymore. And the nurse just called me back to inform me of the doctor's response. The doctor said that she is not going to call in the replacement for the ointment that I'm using because she said that my kidney function is not where she would like for it to be in order for me to be on that particular medication. So she's going to put me on a different one that is pill form. So at least that's good. I still get to stop using the ointment. And then I guess we'll have to see what further blood work has to say. Anyway, let's get back to the bushes. Yeah, well, part of it's good. It's good that I am going to get to be able to stop using that ointment, which is the main thing right now. So, yeah. Uh, that is the first time I've ever taken a phone call using my earbuds. That was pretty cool. Now, when the phone rang there, I actually got up and left the art table. I went back to the back room just so I could talk back there. And I didn't know how like the audio, the sound from them worked and everything, but it came through the earpieces, which was cool. Like I said, I'd never answered a phone call with these earbuds in before, so I wasn't sure how they worked. I could see now how convenient they actually would be for taking phone calls and stuff. Good morning, Dee Dee. How are you? So I'm going to have me a sip of coffee before I forget about it. It won't take too long to get cold. Dee Dee, how are you? Oh, Dee Dee, I'm sorry. Sick as in with a cold or oh, it's moved down into your lungs. Oh, Yeah, now see, you need, once it gets down into the lungs, uh, you might want to go see a doctor. You probably need some kind of, I don't even know what you would need, some kind of expectorant or something to help get that stuff out of there. Don't want it to turn into pneumonia. Well, now that certainly could do it. Now, I hope these turn out looking okay. I don't know what it's going to look like, but it's okay. It's a Dr. Seuss. So we don't necessarily want traditional. Now, I think the pharmacy just sent me a text message telling me they have myself a prescription to pick up because I just got a text message. Let me see if that's who it was. You have a prescription. Yep. I'm glad you just mentioned that. Mary Jo, good morning. I'm glad you guys just mentioned coffee because I got my cup sitting over here getting cold. Mary Jo, how are you? I think those colors are going to be okay together. Now I just keep going back and forth and trying to kind of soften down where these two colors blend together so we don't see a hard line. Okay, thank you, Sherry. Okay, Dee Dee, I hope that helps you. Oh no, Mary Jo, it's that time again. 'Sherry, what's the elevation where you live? You're up in the mountains, right? 2009 83. Okay. Right, I got you. Right now, I think I'm at where I live. I am at just under 4,500 feet. I got to wondering about that over the weekend. I was thinking about like the elevation where I'm at, because I've lived in the Rocky Mountains too. So Yeah, that was really neither here nor there, Sherry. I was just wondering because I know Northern California is mountainous, actually very beautiful country. Now see, Sherry, that's interesting that you say that because I was really just noticing like there is no place I can ride my bicycle around here that is like flat. Maybe for a couple of blocks through downtown, and everywhere else I go is up a hill. Almost all the way from my house to Walmart is uphill. No, Brittany, I am not able to ride a bicycle up a hill. Not yet, anyway. Now, one thing else I figured out is that if I ride my bicycle away from the parking lot here at this apartment building, like if I was to go to town, no matter which way I came in, no matter which end of the street I came from, it's uphill both ways. So the end of my bike ride is always going to be uphill. Not the beginning of my bike ride or in the middle, well, that too, but the end is always going to be uphill. You have never seen The Wizard of Oz or Alice in Wonderland, Peter Pan? I have some different goals. That is true. Now, I will be, oh, let me tell you guys this, but first let me finish. I will say that I hope the goals that I set for myself are realistic. Right now, I'm not sure how realistic riding my bike around town is going to be. We'll see what happens. I don't know if I can recover enough health. Thank you, Dee Dee. That is the premise that I am working on right now. I don't, I, I do attempt to set realistic type goals. So I kind of have a goal like for, I'm not too worried. I mean, I would like to be able to be going out right now, riding my bike and stuff like that. But I'm not going to really be able to until spring comes and it gets stays warm on a consistent basis. Because being able to go out and ride my bike for a couple of minutes once every couple of weeks is not going to do me any good as far as health is concerned. So it does help keep me motivated for wanting to ride it. But so I'm not really thinking about the bike too much until springtime, but I am hoping that by the end of the first summer, I will be able to make the circle where I live. It took me just under 8 minutes when I did it the first time, and you guys could hear me huffing and puffing. I barely made it back home. My goal is to be able, by the end of the first summer, to be able to make that circle in under 3 minutes so I can do a video short of that loop. So that's my goal for the first summer. Because if I can get to where I can ride that bike and make that loop in under 3 minutes, then that I'll be able to ride to town and back. I won't have to worry about it. And I was going to tell you guys too, several years ago when I was living in Hawaii and I got sick and I was really in the depth of being sick and everything, I was going to physical therapy and I had told my doctor and my physical therapist and everything that my goal by the time I turned 65 was to have a body weight, to be able to maintain a body weight of 183 pounds. At that time, I weighed 207. I went to the doctor on Thursday. I weigh 184. So at least I have reached my target weight and I've been able to maintain and everything. So that's good news. Well, Mary Jo, that's the best book you could be reading. That's for sure. Thank you guys. Now let's see, I'm gonna put some of this darker green in here at the bottom. Let's see what we can do. Blend it in a little bit. Now I do like audiobooks, Mary Jo. I have listened to a bunch of audiobooks on YouTube. Oh, wow. Well, your TV viewing was a little more strict than mine when I was growing up. Of course, back in those days, we didn't have TVs in our rooms and stuff like that either, so. Now, Dee Dee, I really like the way those multicolored pencils look. Now, the other day when we were talking about those multicolored pencils, and by the way, guys, for those of you who may not be in chat and you may not be familiar with what the multicolored colored pencils look like when they're being used, make sure you check out Dee Dee's Ivy Sunny Flowers live stream from this past Friday because she used those pencils. They are super cool looking. Dee Dee, on Friday, we had used the word psychedelic, or I had used the word psychedelic, thinking about what those looked like. But when I watched your live stream, you know what they really made, the word they made me think of was kaleidoscope. No, that's true, Dee Dee. And that's probably why I didn't use it Friday. But that is what it reminded me of when I saw what they actually looked like on paper. It did remind me of a kaleidoscope. Not exactly, but it put that in my mind. Anyway, for any of you, like I said, not necessarily you guys that are in chat, because you're pretty familiar with this stuff, but for anybody who may not be, anybody who may watch this in the future, if you're curious about those kind of pencils, check out Dee Dee's live stream, Ivy Sunny Flowers. Well, I think that's about all I can do for that one bush. So now I'm going to use a blender on that bush. Okay, Mary Jo, you're one, Dee Dee. I think that looks pretty good. All right, guys, I'm going to grab me a refill on my coffee so I can let it get cold. Now, can you guys hear me when I'm in my kitchen? I think you can. But you can probably tell I'm not sitting right at the camera. Now, could you guys hear me when I was in my kitchen? Okay, I thought you should be able to hear me. I'm going to count my lag again. One, two, three, four, five. Okay, not bad. Five. Caught back up. So, oh, okay, Dee Dee. I wasn't talking real loud. And all I really said was, I think you guys can still hear me when I'm in my kitchen, but I would definitely think it would be at least muffled or something like that because I was probably about 10 or 12 feet away from the microphone. I'm not using my external microphone. I'm using the camera's internal microphone. So it may depend, like something like that really may depend on whether you have like earbuds. Yeah, you could hear me talking, it just wasn't distinct. It might have been more distinct if you're wearing earbuds or whatever. It's hard to tell. Of course, when I'm sitting right here next to the microphone, because the microphone's right here in front of my face, about 4 inches. So when I'm sitting here talking, you guys probably have to have your volume turned down, or I'll be just blasting, even though I'm just kind of talking in a normal tone of voice. Maybe a little bit louder than normal, because I always am attempting to project my voice when I don't have to. The microphone is right here next to me. So you guys probably have to have your volume turned down. So that way, when I walk away, if I'm still talking, the volume drops. Okay, average. Well, now that's interesting. I would have expected that it would be less than that. Now, I listen to my TV on average set on 20 during the daytime. If I have my new heater running, I have to turn it up sometimes to about 26, even 30 sometimes. At nighttime, if I want to sleep, I'll put on like an audio book or something like that, and I turn it down to about 12. Okay, so I don't really know. I'm just going to kind of guess at how I'm going to, which is what I just did with the other side. So we're just going to do the same thing here. Kind of just make a determination where we want some color to be like that. Yeah, normally at night or whatever time a person wants to try to sleep, because you're not moving around, then you eliminate a lot of the ambient noise. Right. See, that's how I am too, Dee Dee. I think that's probably typical. Like you said, if you really want to pay attention, you want to listen, you want to engage in your brain, absorb what you're hearing, then you want to turn it up loud enough where you can actually do that. And at nighttime or whenever a person wants to sleep, you really don't want to be engaging. You just want some consistent ambient background noise. And that's why I generally tend to listen to audiobooks. I cannot listen to music if I want to sleep because I will listen to the music. I won't be able to sleep. So I have to put on audiobooks that don't have music. If there's any kind of music, I want to watch and see what the action is that prompts that kind of music. And yeah, when I listen to music, I like to have it turned up. Amy, how was your weekend? Welcome back, Mary Jo. Amy, how are you? Oh, I was going to say no volume. Oh, no. I'm glad you got it working. Let me zoom out for a second here, guys. Thank you, Amy. I am feeling better. I have a little bit of a head cold. Thankfully, I never got, it never went, it moved into my lungs. Thankfully for that. Let me zoom out here for a second, guys. We'll zoom out. I'll show Amy what book we're in and anybody else. So we are in Dr. Seuss. And we did do one other page in this book previously. We did this page. And Sherry did this page with me. Dee Dee did this page with me. And I can't really remember. Oh, no worries, Amy. I never have any objection to stopping and showing somebody what book we're coloring in. Oh, yes, yes, yes. Where is that one? The spider web. Where is it? Well, I got to find that page, guys. I don't remember whether it was in the front or in the back. Well, where is it? Okay, now I can't even find the spider web page. You know, I had trouble finding that page when we were coloring it. All right, I got to look through this book, guys. Yeah, yeah, that wasn't in Dr. Seuss. That was a Kirby Roseanne's, wasn't it? Yeah. But anyway, that is the book that we're coloring in. Yeah, Spiderweb was Kirby Roseanne's. I was going to say, I didn't see it in here. I had forgotten that we did it in here. I did look. And then I remembered, nope, that was Kirby. Oh, I don't even color nearly as many pictures as y'all color. And I can't remember what books, like some of the stuff I've colored in was. Oh, you keep a list, Dee Dee? Yes, the groundhog did see his shadow. Mary Jo, why are you sad? Sorry, guys, I had to get a sip of coffee. Okay, let me zoom back in here a little bit now, just because we're working on these bushes. Now, I can say I don't really have what's called works in progress. Ah, Mary Jo. I do one page at a time. That's right, Dee Dee. I only have a couple of pages that I started that I did not finish. I do have a couple. My very first Kirby Roseanne's, I did not finish. I still haven't finished it. And there are a couple of other pages that I started and I just was not able to finish, but only a couple. Well, I can say that Sherry does, as far as I know, keep pretty good records. I will say I've noticed like when she posts a picture, she does include uh, like all the medium that she used to color it, which is pretty cool because at least people know. I don't ever do that, but I do think it's cool that she does that. Everything she used to color with. I'm just like, well, I use colored pencils. Huh. Yeah, and I really like that, Sherry. I guess kind of my whole goal is like to show people if I can do it, they can do it. Oh, that's awesome, Mary Jo. I think all the pages I've colored are still in the book or still in the books, with the exception of the very first Mickey Mouse page I colored. Casey has that. She has it in a picture frame on her wall, one of her walls. I don't know which one. Yeah, I think most of the stuff I use would be considered budget friendly. The Color pencils, because the Color are actually the same price as a Crayola. One of these days I need to buy me some more Crayola pencils. I had Crayola, but I gave those to Casey. I don't think she colors with them. She might. Sherry, I really like the way you did this page around this black bush. How you got you used that light color. I was going to use a light color. That was my original goal or my original plan. When I put these hearts in, I was going to put like a real pale yellow, but I didn't think it would look right next to that pink, so I switched it. So now we're going to have to look and see what it turns out to be like. And I'm just adding light layers of these two colors, just letting them blend together as we work down the page. Well, not down the page, but on this particular object on the page. Very light touch, just alternating between the two colors. Now I use apple green quite a bit also. I'm not using it at the moment, but I'm using a very similar color on these bushes. And that's a middle yellowish green. Very similar to my apple green, actually. I'm not sure where it's at. It's in the case over there, but oh, I bet this is apple green right here. So this is my apple green on the left, and the green I'm actually using on this bush, the lighter green. Very close to it. Whoops. Very close in color. I'm holding them off camera. I'll move them. So very similar. Now, when I use the blending pencil, this transition should be nice and smooth. Sometimes when I do this blending, I end up getting a hard line, and I don't like that, but sometimes that's kind of all you can get. And I'm really using just a very light touch. Yeah, Mary Jo, I was just going to say eggshell makes a good off-white. I like using eggshell, Prismacolor. I don't have eggshell in the Color, but when I use my Prismacolor, I do like using the eggshell as an off-white. Now see, I let my coffee sit right here and it's probably got cold already. Well, not totally cold, but now we'll start adding some of this darker green. I have to think about direction. Well, I'm glad, Amy, so both of us don't waste our coffee. I wish it would go away for you too, Dee Dee. Oh, Dee Dee, I'm so sorry. Now, Sherry, that is a very good point, and that's something that I forget to do. I remember to do that on here, and the connection between the two colors is much, much better. I forget to do that sometimes. Actually, most of the time. 100. Oh my goodness, that's pretty long life right there. I used to tease a friend of mine in Hawaii that he was going to live to be 120. I used to tell him that all the time. Hey, Joe, how are you? How was your weekend? Ah, Dee Dee. Oh, I know what you mean. It just keeps going, doesn't it? Well, now it's been cold here too. It was 0 degrees this morning. I'm not sure what it is now, but I bet it's not much warmer. All right, there's some bushes. 41 degrees. Let me look on my weather app. Oh, we have 10 degrees currently, 10 degrees. It was 0. So we have warmed up 10 degrees. No wonder I have to run my fan. Amy, were you coloring on the same picture that Lori was coloring on with all the different houses? Oh my goodness. I saw all those houses. I was actually thinking that might be a fun page to color, but at the same time, like, oh my goodness, it would take me forever. All right, now let's see what we can do. I'm just going to put some yellow up here in this particular area. And this is canary yellow. I just want some slight suggestion of light coming in back behind. I'll throw some green in here maybe. Amy, I can imagine. What book was that in, Amy? I don't think I have that book. That was in a Johanna Basford's, wasn't it? Yeah, what? Worlds of Wonder? What was it in? Worlds of Wonder? Or what? I can't remember. Yeah, I think it's in Worlds of Wonder, something like that. I know it's not Rooms of Wonder. Worlds of Wonder. Yeah, that's what I thought. I don't have that book. I have Rooms of Wonder, but not Worlds of Wonder. Oh, I don't believe my high is going to get up to 28. No, our high is not going to be maybe around 14. Looks like 14. And we have snow forecast for tomorrow and Wednesday. Yes, Amy, that was Rooms of Wonder. Well, I just went and looked out my front door, and our sunny blue skies are gone, and it is cloudy, and it looks like it's about to snow. The reason I went and looked is because I looked at my weather app, and it's calling for snow tomorrow and Wednesday, and earlier it was calling for sunshine. So, but the sunshine is now gone. Okay, Amy. Now that might be correct, Mary Jo. I do seem to recall that she does have a book called Small Victories, and she may have more than one that fit into that category too. But I am not super familiar with all of her books. Yeah, that's so awesome, Mary Jo. Oh, that's pretty cool. I might have heard something about that in another YouTube video. It sounds familiar, Inklings. I may have heard her mention it actually. I do catch one of her videos from time to time. Now, hopefully, that will give us the idea of a little bit of light hitting the tips back behind the cows. All right, now we'll see if we can't do another cow. I think I'll be using slightly different colors, but basically the same colors. And I'll show you what I'm talking about here in a second. So I have two sets of pencils here that I'm using, and they look very similar. Sherry, I do not know. Now, I had originally thought about making this first row a light color, but then I changed my mind when I did the pink heart. Because I thought, well, instead of putting a real light color next to it, it would look better with something dark next to it. But then that changed how this turned out. But I think it'll be okay. Mary Jo, I have not heard of Eileen. Now, let me see what I can do. Now, speaking of grayscale, I do like coloring books or pages that are at least a little bit grayscaled. Maybe not like a full grayscale, but I like it when the illustrator suggests in their line work where shadows might be. That certainly does help me. Hey Adele, how are you? Welcome back, Amy. Adele, how are you doing? Wow, 24 hours. I guess you are tired. I'd be tired too. But I'm glad you weren't too tired to stop in here and say hello. No, I have not watched any Tubiathon. Okay, Mary Jo, God bless you. It was so nice to see you today. Oh, you finally got one color done? Now you can switch to a different pencil? Okay, Dee Dee, yeah, it might be a good idea to double check. Come back and be surprised later on. Well, a lot of times when I look up, I got this camera right in my face. It kind of startles me. Sherry, I didn't even ask you if you're coloring on anything this morning. Oh, okay. That is also a book I do not have. I did see that Evelyn was coloring in that book. Oh, yeah, good. I'm glad you were able to get in there at the beginning, so you're not trying to play at least too much of catch up. Oh, okay. So you got in on the first picture then. I keep hitting my glasses on the camera mount. It is a little aggravating to have that thing so close. Guys, I will tell you, I don't really know what cows are supposed to look like on a coloring page. I guess ultimately it's just supposed to look however I color it, huh? Now, I've been thinking about giving these cows different colored hair and eyes. Oops, not that one. That was a metallic. That is true. It's a Dr. Seuss, so it can just be anything. Yeah, now I kind of wish I had done mine with the different. Really with the hair color coming out was my original thought, but then I got decided I wanted to attempt something in the black and white or the grays. Not exactly what I was shooting for, but I think it's going to look nice when it's done. Thank you, Sherry. I'll use this blender and I think we'll have a finished second cow. I have not completed any books, so I think it's pretty awesome anytime somebody does. Doesn't she have one book that has like when you unfold like the back cover or something, there's like two or three pages all in one big thing? I thought I saw a book of hers that was like that. Lost Oceans. What about World of Flowers? Does World of Flowers have that? Let me grab my book and look. Enchanted Forest, Lost Oceans. Okay. Home Sweet Home. Hmm. Is that by chance a book that you sent me, Sherry? Home Sweet Home? Teresa Goodrich sounds familiar. Oh my goodness. Well, that sounds a little complicated. Well, it might not be Sherry. That name just sounds familiar, that's all. So I wasn't sure if that might be one of the books that you had sent me. Oh, guys, I sat right here and forgot about my coffee again. I gotta go warm my coffee back up, guys. All right, guys, you know what I figured out? If I don't pick up the pace, I'm not going to get this picture finished by Valentine's Day. That might be bad. I forget about my coffee because I'm not accustomed to drinking coffee at home, not anymore. I used to all the time. I always made coffee, but I've got to the point anymore to where I don't drink coffee alone. I generally only have coffee like if I go out to eat or like if I'm at Stacy's house. That's a very good point, Sherry. Just in case, I can fall back on that. That's awesome. Thank you. I kind of did that same kind of thing for last year's Christmas picture, because last year's Christmas picture had to wait until, I mean, the 2024 Christmas picture had to wait until 2025. I used to drink coffee all the time. The only thing I ever drank was coffee or Pepsi. But I don't know, after I moved to Hawaii, maybe because it was so hot and humid all the time, I just got to where I quit making coffee and I got in the habit of not drinking coffee unless I go out, like I was saying, or like if I'm at Stacy's house when I go visit her because she drinks coffee. So I'll have a couple of cups of coffee throughout the day with her. But generally speaking, sitting here at home, I might make a pot of coffee once every 6 months, something like that. Amy, I did not intend to do a Valentine's Day picture because I don't really celebrate Valentine's Day. But I was flipping through this book just looking for something to color. And this page, let me zoom out here, guys. And this page just kind of, because it has two heart shapes in it, it was just like, kind of like, well, I could do this as a Valentine page because it does have the two heart shapes. So it was just a last minute idea, something that I could do. But not Valentine's because I celebrate Valentine's, but just because it's that time of year. I know some people do, so. I have not attempted that before. I have not attempted that before. What do you think, guys? It only took me 3 hours to color a couple of bushes and a cow. I don't do milk either. I've never tried the combination of chocolate and coffee. Well, I don't think I'll be setting any coloring speed records, that's for sure. Well, that is true, Sherry. Uh, the phone calls didn't take up that much time, but reading chat does if I'm going to follow chat and try to keep up. But I'm generally just a slow coloring person. Well, in a way, Dee Dee, that can be a very good thing. You can't keep up with chat. Really, ultimately, that is the goal that you want because that means your channel is growing, your chat room is growing. Sorry, guys, I didn't zoom back in after I had zoomed out earlier. I didn't realize that, so I zoomed back in a little bit. But yeah, you actually want your chat to keep getting bigger. That's just a sign of channel growth. Now that's how I am too, Dee Dee. The way I look at it, if you look on screen and you see me coloring, that means I'm not looking at the chat. I'm looking at my paper. Yeah, that makes sense to me, Sherry, because it's hard to do both. Look at what's going on and do your own thing. Of course, now I'll be honest. I can understand that if you're watching one of Dee Dee's streams. I don't do anything special. I don't do anything anybody's going to miss. I cannot teach anybody anything. Dee Dee can. I know Sherry can too, even though she's live streaming that kind of stuff. I know she knows what she's doing. She could teach people, as could many others, but not myself. I don't have that much knowledge. I just do. Well, now, when I first started doing this, most of you guys were not here at that time. When I first started doing the coloring, but I am an educator. I was raised by educators. I am naturally an educator. I like to teach, but I don't really know how to explain the things I do here, so I don't attempt to. I just color. Right, it really doesn't matter what brand of pencils you use and stuff like that. But see, me, I don't really know, I don't know technical terminologies and stuff, so I can't really teach from an artist perspective, which is what I like about, like Sherry can, Dee Dee can, and I know many others also can. I just don't have the experience and I don't know terminologies. Yeah, Dee Dee, I really don't like backgrounds either. Boy, I keep getting my glasses hung up underneath this camera mount because it's right in my face. That is one thing I do not like about this. I had to pull the camera so much closer to me just to keep it in focus. Well, hi, Lori. How are you? I am feeling better. I still have a little bit of a head cold, but even that's clearing up. I haven't been coughing. And now that I mentioned it, I probably will start coughing, but Dee Dee, I often do that myself. I look things up online. Oh my gosh, if I ever do this without wearing my glasses, I'll poke my eye out on this camera mount. There's just no way to do this and truly just be comfortable with the way everything is. Lori, I was watching your, I forget whether it was a video or a live stream of your tiny houses, and I thought that looked really cool. In fact, it made me want to buy that book. Now, what kind of writing did you do, Dee Dee? I'm a writer. I'm an amateur writer. I've written many, many unpublished stories and stuff like that, poems. Oh no. Whoops. Amy, what was the that page called that you and Lori were doing? Yeah. Yeah, the worlds of wonder. Anyway, Lori, I really liked your page. Well, I did not major in writing when I was in college, but I have written many stories. I told you guys when I was in college, I wrote a term paper. I was the only person in the English department to get an A plus that entire semester. Okay, Sherry, I probably will not be able to buy it until like March, though. But yeah, is that okay if it's next month, Sherry? Oh, that's pretty awesome, Dee Dee. Wow. So you could have wrote your own plays and then starred in them. Okay. So sometime after you move, Sherry? Okay, yeah, that sounds good, Sherry. That gives me plenty of time to be able to buy that book. Yeah, that'll be a fun picture to color. I think that's so cool, Dee Dee, because you know technical kinds of stuff too involved. Me, I just write, make stuff up, but I understand the English language and how to use it. That helps me as a amateur writer to be able to write stories. don't make too many people laugh. That's for sure. I just basically want people to know they can come to my live stream, as with many others, and be treated with kindness. That's really about all I have to offer anybody. A little dose of kindness. I do. I try to laugh at myself, you know. I do that much. I will laugh at myself. Kind of got to remain lighthearted. Oh, thank you, Amy, because I wondered what happened to Lori. Well, Dee Dee, if I can do it, you can do it. Pretty much anybody can do it if I can do it. Because I certainly am nobody special. Oh, well, my hand just slipped off the edge of this thing on this brace and I went, whoop. Well, thank you, Sherry. Thank you, Amy. I was going to mention that, Dee Dee, because like several of us, we have a group of mutual friends. I've always seen my channel. This is how I would describe my channel to a stranger on the street is like my channel. I want it to like remind myself of like back when I was in college in the early 90s. Uh, there was like the cafeteria area, it wasn't really a cafeteria, but there was a cafe and it's like a student lounge where people hung out, right? But there was like maybe a group of 12 to 15 of us and we'd always grab a couple of booze and throughout the day when you weren't in class, that's where where the group would come to was those couple of booths in the like the cafe area, the lounge area, and we would just hang out together, you know. And that's kind of like the environment, you know. When you if you have a chance to come by, say hello, stop by, say hello. So I always think it's cool, like when JR or Duke or anybody, if you have something else to do, but you take the time to stop by and say hello, gang. I always think that's cool. See, I agree with that, Dee Dee. Everybody who streams can have an audience. Well, thank you, Sherry. I try to watch stuff from people who are subscribed to my channel just because I want to share that support, return it, get their watch hours up. By the way, Dee Dee, I was going to ask you, how are your view hours doing? I just dropped my blending pencil and broke the tip. Hey, Monty, how are you? How was your weekend? Oh, I don't know what it's called. It's a Dr. Seuss cow. That's all I know. Monty, how was your weekend? I'm trying to get this one little section done right here. Now that is a very good possibility, Monty. Oh, you're up to 6,200 view hours. Good. Mine's just under that, right at 6,000. Yeah, your channel has taken off, which is awesome. Mine goes up, mine goes down. I lose subscribers during my live streams. So, Now, one thing I've learned coloring this picture is that I need to be coloring with a blender in my hand. I was wondering about that, Dee Dee, how often they paid you. So they pay in $100 increments. Let's see what we got here now. Yes, that's exactly right, Dee Dee. Well, Dee Dee, you are getting there a lot faster than I am, so. Let's see if I can't make this pink just a little bit better. I sure hope that happens, Dee Dee. All right, guys, I think that's all the coloring for today. Well, that's awesome, Monty. Oh, you're welcome, Amy. Thank you for coming and just hanging out with us. Thank you, Sherry. Always a blessing to have you hanging out with me. And you too, of course, Dee Dee, Monty, Amy, Lori. And we'll do Farming Simulator tonight, guys. We'll do coloring again on Wednesday, everybody. And my laptop just started buffering. Wow. All right, we'll do it again on Wednesday, guys. Until then, God bless.